Hey. Okay, so I am going to be showing you how I created this dashboard for my half letter planner. The first thing you want to do, though, and note that this applies to any size planner, when you go to Canva and you click Create a Design, what you want to do is hit the custom size buttons and then put in your dimensions, the width and the height, and then change it to inches. This will ensure that you are printing your graphic to be the right size for your planner. Okay, so I am doing half letter, so I am doing 5 by 5 by 8.5, and this comes up. Now, the benefit of doing half letter is that Canva actually already has templates in here for planner inserts at that size. So you will notice this section over here. Depending upon how your account is set up, you may be looking at like a different thing, like you may be looking at elements or text, but mine defaults to showing me templates. And so you see here we have some suggestions of the types of templates we can look for. We can even use the search bar. I just like to scroll and browse. And so here you actually see there's a ton of different types of inserts we can use, different things that we can just like copy and paste and grab over. So if you want to see how something looks, just add a new page and then go ahead and drag it over. And then from there you can customize it. So this is really cool because, again, you can recreate a lot of these on whatever size planner you have, but if you are using half letter, they're already made for you. And so now you can really make things the colors you like or the fonts you like. You can, if you're down for printing your own inserts, like you can save a lot of money doing this here in Canva. So I don't know exactly what I typed in to pull it up, but I found the name of this template. So if you want to use this exact one, type in your search pastel brown creative daily planner. Okay. So if you click it, it's the very first one that comes up. This is what it actually looks like. Drastically different than this, right? So again, if you want, you can leave it like this. If you print it and laminate it like I'm going to show you, you can actually use it as like a little like whiteboard and use dry erase markers and write stuff in. If you have certain things you want to do on certain days, you can type it in. But that's not really what I wanted to create. I really wanted to create almost like this daily habit dashboard of just the things, the non-negotiables that I need to do every single day. So what I actually came in here and did was I first deleted this extra, well, actually I didn't delete that. I deleted the lines. So I just clicked on the lines and then I'm hitting the delete button on my keyboard and I'm coming down here and doing the exact same thing. And then from there, what I did was I duplicated these circles. So I just hit Control C on my keyboard and then Control V. You can also manually hit the buttons and do this. I'm kind of accustomed to keyboard shortcuts at this point. And then from there, I'm doing the same thing. Okay, and then I do the same with the text. I just kind of duplicate it and bring it down. I don't really worry about alignment because it really depends on what you're typing in here. That didn't do it right. What you're typing in here. And then once you put all of your words in there, you can just play with it as you want, right? So I just went ahead and duplicated that. And then this is what I titled my dashboard, Creating a New Reality. You can choose to use whatever name you want. So you could actually instead say Habit Tracker, right? And then from there, move some of this stuff around. So I know I moved some of the designs around just so they wouldn't take up too much space. They're like really pretty, but I didn't want it to be distracting. So just kind of move things around. If you want to change the colors, for example, of the background, you click on it, and then come over to this top left box. You can change the colors. You can use whatever color you want. You can change the colors of these bubbles. You can make them really whatever color you want them to be. And then from there, you can just click on the text and start typing. So if you want to make your bed every morning. So you see how, like, depending upon what you type in here, the way you align it is going to look a little bit different. So you can click on this and move it around. You can make it bold. You can change the font style. You can change the font size. You can underline it. You can do whatever you really want. So I want you to have fun with this because, again, it's your planner. So I just basically did that. So I'm going to delete this page and come back up and show you what mine actually says. So I did go ahead and make the background white just so that it would print a little bit better for me. But here are some of the things that I actually said. Oh, by the way, I made my text white on these just because the black was harder to read when I printed it the first time on those. So for me, the 9 non-negotiable things that I want to do on a daily basis include working out at least 20 minutes a day. I am pivoting from being a super couch potato to getting active. So what's feasible for me is committing to at least 20 minutes of movement, any kind of movement, spin, yoga, whatever. And as I build up my discipline with it, committing to longer workouts. And I will say, even before making this dashboard, I've actually been working out really consistently since July 1st. So I'm actually up to 40 minutes a day. But again, I like having a 20-minute standard. Meditation for at least 5 minutes a day. That one's self-explanatory. Drinking 5 cups of water. So I don't mean cup like actual measurement size style cups. Please excuse the thunderstorm happening in the background. I actually use those large, what are they like? They're like the 20-ounce Starbucks cups, the really tall ones. That's what I use as my water cup. So when I did the math online of like how many ounces of water I need for my body weight and height, whatever that ounces was, basically if I fill up my Starbucks cup 5 times with water, like I would get to that. So that's why it says drink 5 cups of water. This is more businessy, go live, make a post, or send an email. That's just like a little reminder for me, because when definitely on days when I have a lot of clients or just other side projects going on, I will just like completely not post anything or send an email if I didn't schedule it. So this is just for me reminding myself, like, make sure something happened, make sure a post went out, an email went out, or that you went live today. No eating after 8 p.m. because your girl has been struggling badly with heartburn late at night, and I've noticed that it mainly occurs not just by eating certain foods, but just eating late in the evening. So no eating after 8 p.m. I need to make sure I have dinner at 7 o'clock on the dot. My vitamins, I have fell off so bad with my vitamin routine. So I make sure I'm taking my vitamins daily, and I do have them placed in a position where I will see them every day. But again, just reminding myself here, listening to one podcast per week just to stay on my professional development. Same with my reading goal, reading at least 10 minutes a day, and then subliminal audio for an hour. So basically, I listen to these like subliminal audio like files. They're basically, if you ever listen to like those like videos on YouTube where it's just like the instrumentals and it's supposed to be like, oh, high vibe, a certain amount of hertz. It's kind of like something like that, but I actually purchased a set of subliminals that were created for like certain mindset things you're working through and for certain business owners, from a hypnotherapist. Her name is Juliet. She's a Black woman. She's fantastic. I will link in the description box. I do have a referral link for the set that I bought for some of your customers. If you are, you spend a certain amount, you become an affiliate. So, you don't have to use my link, but I'll link it down below. I noticed that I definitely have a shift when I make sure to play those for at least an hour. If you're following one of her formal programs, the thunder was really thundering. If you follow her formal programs, you have to do it for like a certain number of days in a row. But with the regular like daytime audios, if I just play it for an hour, I definitely notice a difference. So I have to make sure I remember to actually play them. Sometimes I'll get caught up and I will sit in silence for so long, y'all. So this is what mine looks like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit the share button. Then we're going to hit the download button. We're going to change the file type to PDF print, and then we are going to download. Okay, so our design is all printed out. I wanted to call out, you really want to use some good quality paper, paper that's a little heavier, a little thicker. I don't know if you guys can feel on camera than your average paper, because when I've done it with like regular, like just the cheapest printer paper I could get, at a Walmart that I just like have for printing random things, I noticed that sometimes the color bleeds through, it doesn't look as good, and it's even while laminated, it's still really flimsy. If you're like me, you want your dashboards to have a little weight so they can function as dividers as well. So I use 32-pound paper. I get the brand HP. You don't have to get that brand. That's just what I use. But you really want to get some heavy paper. So I have like heavy, almost cardstock type paper that I only use when I'm making stuff for my printer. So I printed it out. The other items you're going to need is a cutting board. I actually have 2 variations. I'll link one I can find for you below from Amazon, but you can also just go to Michael's. You're going to need this to cut it. And you see I have some drawings on here for when I'm trying to discern between personal sized and like A5 is on here. For half letter, I don't actually need that. I just follow you know, I just follow the image, but when I was making like my own inserts, I drew this one here. So you need that. You will need a laminating machine. I was surprised at how affordable these actually are. Again, everything that I use came from Amazon, and I have it on just because it takes a couple minutes for it to heat up. So you do want to have it on hot, okay? You want to have this on hot. And then the other thing that you need is you actually need the paper or the laminating pocket. So you can get these at Staples, Office Depot, Amazon. I was actually sent a couple, like maybe a year or two ago, I was sent a laminating machine from a company on Amazon, and their laminator actually came with a bunch of different sized pockets. You can get like A5 and half letter size pockets. Their laminating machine did not work well for me, so I don't even have that anymore, but I still have all of their and they're like plant their pockets. This one is letter size, so I will need to cut it down, but you know, you can always use bigger and cut down, and sometimes with the scraps I'll use it to make like little pockets and stuff. So what you'll want to do is open it up like this. I'm not going to cut it down. I'm going to put the entire thing in here just because it's going to end up being double work, and I don't plan on using the leftover laminating paper for anything else. I'm just going to put the entire thing in here. Okay, so my machine is ready. I'm standing awkwardly because my shadow like messes with the light. So what I'll do is I will just gently put this inside, and I can't even see. Hold on, y'all. Okay, there we go. Gently put it inside. Don't push it too hard, like gently until you feel the machine grab it. It grabs it on its own. I always do the sealed end first, okay? The sealed end first, and then it comes out the back. Now, a tip that I learned is once this comes out, run it through a second time. It just helps to make sure it lasts long and it's of good quality. It's something I've just always done. Obviously, you don't have to, but it's definitely something that I like to do. So I want you guys to see it as it comes out. It is a little warm. It's very much like not hot. It's not going to burn you, but you still want to just be careful with the machine. Like I don't touch the machine itself. I just go ahead and get this. And of course, if you can, put this on a full table so it doesn't like fall on the floor. But I'm working with a little bit of limited space here. So, but you can see that it is coming out. And this is another cool way if you wanted to make like a little dry erase insert, you could do that too. Don't rush it. Don't try to pull it out. Let it just come out on its own, okay? So if I wasn't here, this would have just fallen on the floor. So then I'm gonna come back around, and then I'm just gonna push it through one more time. Again, I do apologize for the lighting, y'all. But something else you can do when you are getting ready to cut, now that we're done, is if you actually have an insert that is the size that you are looking for, you could just put it on top and use that as a guide when you're cutting. So that's another option as well. But anyway, so I'm going to cut the bottom first, just because by the length of this cutting board, I couldn't really do it any other way. So if you do have a small cutting board, we just start at the bottom and make sure you go back and forth a couple times because this is very thick to cut. So you just want to make sure that, you know, you aren't picking it up prematurely. Okay, and then I'm just gonna use this to make sure, like, I don't really care if it ends up being smaller. I care about it being bigger because then it hangs out of your planner. So we're basically perfect here. So you want to make sure that you get a hole punch for the size of your planner. So if I was doing A5, I'd use this hole punch from Michaels. I also have a personal sized hole punch that I got from Michaels. But in this case, I'm using my Happy Planner disc punch. The cool thing about the disc system is that the spacing is always the same amount of of the inches apart, no matter if it's half letter or letter size. The only difference is obviously the paper is bigger, so you have more punches, but it's all the same distance. Unlike if you are on a ring bound system and you're doing an A5 planner or a personal planner, the holes are in different spots, literally. So that's something else that I really like about the disc system. I don't have to have a bunch of different punches. So I'm just doing this so that I can line it up correctly, because I don't like for my dashboards to hang off my planner. And if you punch too high, like if you don't like for example, like, because let me show you this. So there's like this extra space up top. So if you just put your dashboard in, you push it all the way up top and then punch it, because of how the discs start in your planner, like a lot of this will be hanging off the inside of your planner. And then punch. Just push it in and then you are good to go. And you have your new planner dashboard.